Happy Friday and NFP day. So I have good news and I got bad news. The bad news is that my usual strategy for these high impact news days, which usually doesn't play out this early, has already played out, which is the whole idea of, so whether it's CPI, PPI, for those of you guys that have been trading with me a while, you guys know that this is kind of my go-to bias. When you have these high impact news days, which basically is you got your data highs and data lows. So when news comes out, it'll push price usually strong in one direction, and it'll print a high and a low for that news release. So here usually what we're looking for is once one extreme is taken out, one low or high is taken out, we usually look to trade it back the other direction. So that already has played out as far as I am concerned for today, but that's okay because we'll see what we got in this next hour. And if we get a good setup, we'll take it. My bias as of right now is on this 15-minute time frame, looking at ES on the left, NASDAQ on the right. So a couple of things to note here. The standard deviation that we pointed out yesterday, that we actually went long. This is where we went long yesterday right here. We've now gone down and taken out the -4 standard deviation of that level, and now we've strong reacted back up. So whether you're on the 5 or the 15, well, let me back up actually. So let me put these sessions on, and just to kind of visualize AMD here, power of 3. So the way that I am viewing this is, here you have an Asia session getting into New York midnight, your accumulation, and then I think that accumulation, in my opinion, stretches slightly into London, but the manipulation is already beginning, because I'm viewing this move post London, early pre-market New York Open, as that manipulation. This being the distribution, so AMD, and now we're waiting for X. So X is either going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a full-blown reversal, or it's going to be a continuation, which before that continuation happens would look like a pullback to then go higher. So I'm not totally opposed to getting short, but I only want to get short into a bullish PD array. That bullish PD array, in my opinion, is going to be this 5 and 15-minute breaker block. So let me turn that off. So if you guys can visually see here, it's actually a unicorn model. So this last down close candle, the news release, we got a fair value gap overlapping that block. This is a unicorn model bullish. That's actually the setup I want today, being truthful, just to be truthful with you guys. That's the setup I want. I want to continue going long. You guys already know, because of that weekly fair value gap that we're in, I still have leaned a little more bullish bias this week. I know it's been a short week, so that's my thought process. But I'm open to getting short to this area, because we have swept a lot of internal buy side now, and it would make sense for price to correct to the downside before going back higher. And to be honest with you as well, if that's a good enough trade, I won't even bother going long. I'll just take my profit and run. So that is my overall bias and thought process for today. Let me just go ahead and I'm gonna go back to the 5-minute chart. Screw it, we'll do the 15. I'm gonna mark out this 15-minute fair value gap right here, where the unicorn model begins, and that is where I want to start looking for longs. If we, I might try to short down into here. We'll see. I don't really see anything that I love right this very second. And at this point, well, the news just came out. That was what we were waiting on. So the news just came out. One more high impact news folder. There we go. Came out bullish for the dollar, or I'm sorry, bearish for the dollar, bullish for the indices. So that would just explain the last push up here, right on buy side one more time. And I'm just gonna be patient with this, guys. Like I said, I already missed the actual, like, kind of my go-to strategy move for this day. So at this point, it's looking for kind of a second chance entry or a corrective trade. All right, guys. I understand that this is risky, because we're trading into all this bullish inefficiency. But I think I'm gonna do it. I'm on my 150K combine account still, obviously, right? So this is risky though, so I'm only gonna do one contract. It's risky because, I mean, this is the very first thing that we're seeing. This is just one bearish fair value gap. That's really it. We're not even really in the macro yet. So this is risky. Just full disclosure. I like this low right here. Uno. But I put a sell limit on in that fair value gap. I want to see if we get this pullback. I'm risking less than 0.5% even on this trade, but I'll make 1% if it hits. A little over 1%. So I'm going to take it. If you guys want to, guys with me, feel free. If not, all good. Here's what I'll say. I will cancel this trade and not take it only if price comes to the 5-minute consequent encroachment of the fair value gap first and then comes back to our entry. I'll kind of do that to mitigate some of this risk per se. I'm going to be defensive with this one as well. So like, I don't know, it's looking like we might not get triggered in, but if we do, then we come down to this consequent encroachment, I'm going risk free right away. There we go. So I just got tapped in, guys. It is risky. I'm on one contract, just seeing what we get. You're just so limited. Nice. All right, guys. Getting ready to remove a risk. There you go. Risk free. We don't lose. I'm gonna go. I'll just do like 2 ticks in profit to cover cost. But yeah, we're like I said, this was a riskier setup, so I want to be a little more defensive with it. I know it's tight. I know we didn't move far, but you got to think we're hitting this bullish PD array as well, and time and price barely on our side, right? We're kind of hitting that intermediate macro right now, and we didn't really have, in my opinion, this was just a little accumulation. Then we just had boom, one displacement down, one fair value gap down. So I don't know. It's not the setup dreams are made of, if you know what I'm saying. But if it plays out, it plays out. About to tickle me out, folks. There we go. I'm out. Out of break even. If anything, I might even try if we break back above here, I almost don't hate the idea of a little scalp long up to 587. All right, guys, I'm going to take that long entry, I think, right off. Oop. All right, guys, I'm going to get this out of here. I'm going to do one contract long right now. Filled, not fantastic. Looking like it's showing respect out of this inverse gap. My fill was 40.5. And yeah, I'm going to do stop below. So about 18, 19 points. Stop right here. Again, I'm on the 150K combine account for those of you guys that are just hopping on. I'm demo balling today. So risking 18, 19 points, 1 to 2.5 R off the inverse gap that just got traded through. We'll remove risk once we take out this recent high. There we go. Nice. All right, guys. Well, no losses today. We'll see if we get a follow through and actually get a target. But either way, just trying to avoid disaster. We're not trying to go into the weekend with a red day. No, sir. Yep, so the original thought process was bearishness from this gap. We did go short into the consequent encroachment of the 5-minute gap. Removed risk there because we thought we could still be very much so bullish to these levels. So that's why we treated it so, like, we were so aggressive with our stop loss management. And then once it violated this, to me, you're kind of getting the validation from the 5-minute gap being bullish, validation from this flipping to inverse. So that was what the idea was based off of. And we just have liquidity sitting right here in the form of a lower resistance liquidity run, relative equal highs. So if price is not willing to turn around, who am I to fight it? Yeah, I'm risk free, Camaro. That damn macro. I just got stopped at break even, guys. For those of you guys that were still holding on, it doesn't look like doesn't look good. So I'm assuming everybody got stopped at break even at this point, even if you were holding. That is quite unfortunate, just to show the executions from today. Bada bing, bada boom. 2 trades entered here short, removed risk, stopped at break even. On this candle here. Next trade long, bang, stopped at break even here, and everybody else that was still holding on probably out of break even at this point. So yeah, guys, that's about it for this morning.